Tell us a little bit on why you believe you are the best candidate for this position.
It's very simple. I am a fighter, and I'm here to fight.
Fighter.
Yes. And I know the war is very stiff, but I believe in myself.
You believe in yourself?
Yes, I never give up, and I'll make sure whatever I feel needs to be worked on is done.
All right.
That is why.
Okay.
Sure.
So now, Mr. Ndomu, please tell us, why do you believe you are still the best candidate for this position?
Well, the ground can sell on itself. Fruits are everywhere. People can appreciate. I'm a negotiator. I'm the loudest voice ever.
All right. You've heard that for yourself. He's a fighter. The ground can appreciate. Next question. Mr. Zulu.
Yes.
In what aspect do you think the current president has failed that you think you will improve better once you are put into power?
Before I talk about what he has failed, I appreciate his work. Quite right, yes, he has worked. But we still feel Rusangu can do better than that. Yes, there are a lot of fields that are still lacking in our school, and we need to work on that. The first thing I can talk of is issues of communication between SRC and the students. The students feel SRC is too far from them. That is the reason why most of the times when things are presented to them in the MPH, they usually, most of the times, they do oppose because communication is not done properly to them. Right now, students are still crying out. Issues of water in the hostels, issues of lack of chairs in classrooms, the MPH, every time people are lifting chairs, that's something we see and we experience as students. When we talk of the students in the science building, go to the science building right now and see how they're learning there. The room is small, there are plenty of students, some of them are even outside, and with this heat, I'm in this small room, I'm feeling like this. Now imagine you're having a room with more than 100 people and they're learning and it's this hot. I don't know how you can learn as a student. Those are issues that are on the table, and those are the needs that students want to be handled. They have been crying for those things, and it looks like nobody hears them. Talk about health. We have been talking about that thing they call the sick bay. The money for that sick bay was donated a long time ago, but it's still there. We don't know what is happening, and now construction is on hot. Those are the things we want to look at.
All right. Mr. Ndomu, he said you have failed in some areas. Now, how do you defend yourself with this?
Yeah, it's a matter of experience. Watching things from terraces, they are simple. But once you get walking the shoes, you understand the bureaucrats, the policies that the school is running on. When you understand the bureaucrats and the policies that are there, then you understand, say, the war is greater than what your eyes can see. You may be aware that we have money that was donated for the clinic, the money that was donated for the ambulance. From the time I assumed office on 25th of January up to date, we've been hunting for that money. Up to now, some of the people that are directly involved with that money, we are not even in good books with them because we have put a stiff fight against them. So things may appear like that. Yeah, we talk of the science building. I think that's beyond SRC. SRC cannot build a science building, one. And also, when you talk about the way people learn, it's the work for Senate. Senate is the one that makes rules for everyone. I've been hearing people, campaigning to say they'll change the checklist, they'll channel money that you pay for trips and library and labs, sorry to say. But that, unfortunately, that's in the hand of Senate, and no one goes beyond Senate. And this is not a union, but a council. So I hope you understand the difference between a union and a council. Your job is dialogue. That's all.
All right. So, Mr. Richard, on what he has said now, what made you want to run for presidency? What really drove you to run for president?
This is the issue. Problems are there. When we present problems to management, we don't only present a problem, but we present a solution, a possible solution. That is when, if management fails to work with the solution that you have proposed, then we can say it's a problem. But what we want to do is not just to present problems. I'm aware what he's talking about is something I've experienced before, even in church leadership at Rusangu University. Those are things we go through. But the issue is we propose solutions to problems that come. That is how we solve problems.
Okay, now with
he said the science building is not his issue. I'm not talking about building a science building. We're talking about air conditioning in that place. The main building has enough ventilation, proper ventilation. We have air cons in the main building that do nothing. Why can't those air cons be moved to the science building to particular classrooms that have poor ventilation so that students at least can learn in a conducive environment. Those are things we are talking about.
All right.
Not just problems, but solutions. That's where the issue of innovation comes in.
Okay. Now, with that being said, what is the one thing you plan on achieving overall once you're put into power?
Well, one great thing that I want to achieve at Rusangu University, if they give me a chance to be president, is to make sure the students are comfortable in whichever way possible. First and foremost, I want to make sure I get the needs of the students, I get down to the students and understand what their needs are. Then, we want to know what the majority of the students would want SRC to do for them first. That is how we solve problems. Priority. Yes, first.
Now, Mr. Ndomu,
Yes.
what would be the one thing that you want to achieve what would be the one thing you want to achieve that you couldn't do previously once you're re-elected into power?
Okay, thank you. As you may know, I think one difference between a leader and a follower is access to information. Right about now, there are discussions up there that you guys have been complaining of medical care. And in our general fee, you are aware that we don't pay for medicine. So the university is contemplating on their tables to introduce medical care for people, but of course at a fee. Right now, we are fighting that the school fees has increased. And what we are doing on the school fees that has increased, right now we have petitioned management to reduce the 70% course registration threshold so that even a needy student can be catered for. Now imagine if the school introduces healthcare fee on top of the fees that have already gone up. What would be the fate of a student who is on work program? A student who can't afford a meal right now. Right now in this office we have students we've employed who we are paying using our own money to just ensure that they're in school. So one thing that I'm working on right now is to ensure that from our own money that you pay through council, we introduce medical care, that is health insurance, to prevent management from going on with their decision. Not only that, I would also want to tell you that the time I took over presidency, I found in the files that just in that particular court, 43 people were suspended because of misbehaving. And later on, when I ran for office once, we reduced the number from 43 to 22. Last quarter, I'm proud to tell you, we only suspended 7 people. This quarter, we've only suspended 4 people. So what I've come up with as a leader, we want to introduce counseling. You are aware of what has been happening on the ground, people cutting themselves, people doing all sorts of things in the bush. The only thing we can do is to bring in counseling. That's the only way people will benefit from their money. These other projects like football, debate, there are only a few people that benefit. And as such, our agenda is simple, very inclusive.
Okay, so well, you've heard it from yourself, from Mr. Zulu and Mr. Ndomu, and this was Masanga Mlima with the 2 candidates running for SRC and Rusangu University.